Adding ism to a word don't make it a thing. Y'all think y'all can add ism to anything and just make it something. Heightism? Be for real. And then you had the audacity to compare it to racism? What are you talking about?
Hello, Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVP. So please, I came across these stitches on my video and I thought to share where there is this discourse about heightism and racism. This pan-colored man I think he looks, yeah, he's pan-colored man, goes as far as to talk about how black people often exaggerate racism, even though there is something more extreme than racism, which he called heightism, like those men who feel so insecure about their height, even though he even use uncolored people or black people as a reference to that. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying.
5'8" is too short. I'm 5'4", so 5'8", it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You know, you like my little sister.
Nobody wants to say it, but heightism might actually be worse than racism. You see, racism is socially condemned. You say something racist, you lose your job, your reputation, your platform, etc. Society punishes you. But mock someone for their height, that's not condemned. It's actually normalized. It's entertainment. It's a preference.
Liar.
How am I a liar?
6'5" is a lie.
You gotta round up.
Round it up heavy.
No, I didn't.
He's 6'5".
I'm
6'4". Exactly.
And the irony is, height is 95% genetic. You can't train it, manifest it, or grind for it. No amount of effort is going to change your bone length. Only about 15% of men are 6 feet or taller, yet somehow that becomes the baseline nowadays. It's so bad that even talking about someone's weight is considered more offensive than mentioning their height, especially when it comes to women, right? And that's something that you can control. I just find it hilarious that this double, actually triple standard still exists till this very day.
As an ethnic turbo manlet, and as representing all the ethnic turbo manlets out there, we do believe heightism is worse than racism, and we completely agree with K. Shami. Now, you might fucking disagree because you're fucking tall, but have you ever asked the opinion of someone who's actually experienced both heightism and racism? Ask any black or brown short man, and I'm talking very fucking short, turbo manlet short. They would give you the exact same response that heightism is worse than racism, in the Western world at least. Maybe not in other parts of the world, but in the Western world particularly, heightism is worse than racism. Ask any, and I mean any, ethnic short man and they would agree with me. There's not a single one that wouldn't agree with me, unless they're coping.
Adding ism to a word don't make it a thing. Y'all think y'all can add ism to anything and just make it something. Heightism? Be for real. And then you had the audacity to compare it to racism? What are you talking about? You're comparing a preference in dating to racism? Y'all gotta relax. Y'all gotta relax, all right? The insecurities about your height, you need to go talk to somebody. But you got to relax. When it starts getting to a point where you want to compare it to something like racism simply because there's groups of women who don't want to date you because you're short, right? You don't have anything stopping you from doing stuff on a day-to-day basis from you being short. Maybe you can't get on roller coasters. All right, maybe there's some rides at amusement parks that you can't get on. But for the most part, you're not dealing with anything on a day-to-day basis that stops you from living your life being short. The only issue that you're having is that some of the women that you want, you can't get because you're short. You got to relax. Adding ism to a word don't make it a thing. Y'all think y'all can add ism to anything and just make it something. Heightism? Be for real. And then you had the audacity to compare it to racism?
Triophobia. If the ism isn't working, just try phobia. I'm just kidding. But, you know, I'm always down to defend a short king, especially since a lot of short men just straight up treat it as if they're subhuman. And like, it's okay to treat them that way. That's how society kind of looks at it. And I'll defend them even though I'm, you know what I'm saying? But genuinely, like, the coping is crazy, bro. You just gotta be better. If you're a short guy, just be better. Be a better human than everybody else. They'll say you have short man syndrome if you get all this money, or if you get jacked, or if you get, like, all these women around you, but, like, what else are they gonna fucking say? You're a short loser? That's the alternative. I'd rather be, like, a really short guy that has a lot of money, and they say I compensate, than one that fucking comments on the internet and says, no, it's heightism. No, dude. No. Oh, and comparing it to racism, bro? I'd rather be whatever race you don't want to be than short.
Matter, like, it's not true. It's crazy to think that people actually believe
no one with options would date a black woman anyways? What? That is the top comment with almost 10,000 likes. Holy racism. I'm genuinely left speechless, dog. Being short isn't even that much of a burden to carry. I'm 5'7", I'm always like the shortest out of all my friends. Unfortunately, all of my friends are 6 foot, so I always look tiny, but isn't that big of a deal? I've had multiple women come up to me and tell me that I'm too short for them to date. The majority of them unprompted, by the way. I wasn't even talking to them. And like, that doesn't bother me. Okay, just because you won't date me doesn't mean that there's a pool of women who would. My pool of women to date is just smaller. If someone doesn't like me or doesn't want to date me or whatever because I'm short, then they were never meant to be my friend or partner anyways, so it doesn't bother me. If you're really that insecure about your height, then find a dream, passion, goal, or desire. Pursue it. Life max, dude. Joy max. Personality max.
I just saw that video of K. Shami saying that heightism is worse than racism. And all I could think is, why do short motherfuckers blame everything on their height, bro? This is literally coming from a short motherfucker myself. I don't know why so many short guys purposely nerf themselves and lower their confidence because of their height. Some of y'all gotta start learning that if you can't change something, you just gotta live with it and accept it and change everything you can fix. I think the number one thing a lot of short people could fix is their personalities. A lot of these looks maxing creators won't tell you to fix your personality because they're shitty people themselves and they have horrible personalities. So they kind of just put everything into their looks instead of actually trying to become better people. I have never seen my height as a disadvantage because I've just never really thought that far, to be honest. But I've never really had issues with it. I've pretty much done almost everything I think to make up for my height, even though I've never really seen it as that way. I'm like fairly buff, and in my humble opinion, I would say I'm not a very boring person, so I have that. If you actually want to attract girls and you're short, just be an interesting person. It's not that difficult. You can be tall and not get any play either because you have a horrible personality. This piece of advice I'm about to give you is more valuable than anything any dumbass looks maxer can tell you. Stop worrying about what other people have that you physically cannot obtain and just focus on yourself, and you will go so much farther than listening to these dumbass looks maxers. Because when you stop focusing on other people and what they have that you can't have, you live so much happier, trust me.
Racism.
I'm no history buff, and I don't proclaim to be one. So I could be wrong in what I'm about to say. And if I am, please feel free to correct me in the comments. I personally cannot recall a time in history where people were enslaved because they were too short. I can't. I cannot recall a time in history where someone was strange fruited because they were too short. The fact that he said on the fact that he made that video and did a point-by-point presentation as to why heightism is worse than racism is fucking just crazy work. Every day I think to myself, they can't possibly say anything more stupid than what they've been saying. And every day I'm proven wrong. I think I need to lower my expectations.
So I've been kind of like deep into this whole like red pill, black pill looks maxing, like, you know, thing, I guess. Like not for me. I don't think I care about it that much, like personally, but I find it interesting. And I like to learn new things and like educate myself on like communities and stuff. I don't know, maybe it's like the anthropology minor in me, but every time I see something new, I'm like, wow, I need to make an ethnography of this right now, you know. But maybe digital ethnography coming soon. But no, anyways, I have been a little deep in this, like for my own personal like research, but I think because of that, my phone and like my algorithm has like caught wind of this, and it's starting to like push a lot more black pill, looks maxing content to me and everything. And I always try to approach things with an open mind. Like, I don't want to seem closed-minded because I feel like that really limits how I interact with like these communities and these groups. But I saw like a TikTok the other day, and it was like a pretty prominent figure in the community. And he said, he opened the video with, Heightism is worse than racism. And I, like, at first, that, it got me. I was like, you know, but I tried to be, okay, I'll hear him out. And then he went on and on about, like, heightism and, like, the struggles of, like, being not your ideal height or whatever, and, like, how society bases your value or whatever. But the whole time, I was trying to get his point, and I just couldn't get it. And I've been pondering over this. It's just been replaying in my head for the past couple of days. I've been, like, thinking about this and pondering over it. And I'm just trying to understand how is heightism worse than racism, you know? Because it's just, I'm trying so hard to have an open mind, but I just feel like there's some disconnect. And maybe it's me, maybe it's just because I'm a woman or something that I'm not affected by heightism, because I know that's another argument, that like a lot of these concepts and a lot of the things in these communities, they don't really affect women as much because like different standards, different lived experiences and everything. I think it's, and also like lived experience based on like race and gender. But anyways, that's besides the point. I'm really trying to understand how heightism is worse than racism. And if anyone can explain this to me, I'd really appreciate it, because in the replies of that TikTok where like that guy said that, he was saying like it was just a hook, like I just said it for engagement or something, or he was trying to like defend his point, but I wasn't really getting it. So I'd really appreciate some insight into how in the real world where real things happen, heightism has worse consequences than racism.
Get me with it.
But heightism might actually be worse than racism.
I'm sorry, what?
Racism is socially condemned. You say something racist, you lose your job, your reputation, your platform, etc. Society punishes you.
Does it though? Does society actually punish racism? Punish people for making racist lies, repeating racist slurs? Or is racism, in fact, widely tolerated, if not accepted and celebrated?
But mock someone for their height, that's not condemned. It's actually normalized. It's entertainment.
So despite that absolutely absurd claim that heightism is worse than racism, there is a kernel of a point here. Height-based discrimination is real and it is measurable. Men who are taller are not simply paid more, but they are generally perceived to be more competent and more intelligent.
A preference.
We are allowed to have preferences. But the interesting thing about men and women who have height preferences is that they are not nearly so strong as the discourse on platforms like this one would lead you to believe. Despite the fact that most men and women do express preferences for extreme height differences, nearly all of us end up partnering with somebody whose height difference is less than 5 inches from our own. And so a 5-foot-tall woman may say that she thinks that a 6'3" man is the most attractive height, but the odds are that she will end up with a man who is about 5'5".
Only about 15% of men are 6 feet or taller, yet somehow that becomes the baseline nowadays.
And so here again, we run into a problem between people's expressed preferences and those that they demonstrate through their actions and behavior. Because yes, somewhere between 10 and 15% of adult men are over 6 feet tall. Somewhere between 50 and 60% of adult men are in committed long-term relationships right now. Which means that even if every single one of those men who are 6 feet and taller were in committed long-term relationships, somewhere around half of all of the remaining men are too. They are still finding love, they are still getting picked.
So bad that even talking about someone's weight is considered more offensive than mentioning their height, especially when it comes to women, right?
You started with a comment that was dismissive about racism, and now we've moved on to being dismissive of the misogyny that's directed toward women because of their weight. I'm starting to think this isn't actually about your height.
I just find it hilarious that this double, actually triple standard still exists till this very day.
Yeah, it is clearly deeply unfair that people of color and women can mock you because you're short, and you are not allowed to slap back with slurs based on the color of their skin or their gender. Just awful. I can see how that's awful for you. What in the incel white supremacist nonsense?
This is why I'm done with Black Pill. You niggas just be saying shit to say shit at this point. Like, how far have we come as a society where now we are even allowing a topic like this to be talked about? And usually, like, I wouldn't even expect this from K. Shami. Like, this might have been a Clav take or, you know, one of the more extreme looks maxers, but K. Shami, bro, this guy's supposed to be like Muslim or something. I felt like he was #1 tapped in with being smart or reasonable when it came to this. And the reasoning he goes on to say why it's worse is because that Heightism is accepted socially while racism isn't. I don't know if this is a joke or what, but racism in itself isn't even banned socially throughout most civilizations. Not to mention the fact that racism has literally directly caused deaths of millions of people and slavery of millions of people, while Heightism, oh, you're not 6'2", so I'm not going to date you. Yep, these two are definitely of the same measure.
Of this discussion has sparked a lot of controversial take on the space of social platform, especially TikTok and all. Where this man, when I saw him, I thought he's actually an Indian man, but I think he's actually pan-colored. So he talks about how he feels that heightism is more extreme compared to racism. And when I saw this take with so many people who supported his take, okay, in the other hand, let's talk about heightism. Heightism is all about someone who is maybe lesser than 5.4, right? Be you a man or a woman, but let's just talk in the reference of men aspect. You know, personally, myself, I have never ever thought of any like someone being discriminatory or someone being um discriminated because of his or her own height. Maybe because I've not really come across someone that is so maybe 3% 3 feet or 4 feet, like I don't know, but I have never ever had that thought in my mind that somebody can actually be discriminated because of your height. Maybe you should be discriminated because of um your height. Like, I never see that as a problem. I have never seen that as a problem. So many people I know or people that I've seen who are under maybe 5 feet and all of that, who have so many high positions and all of that, doing very well, very intelligent and doing so well for themselves. I like when he was even talking about these heights, I was like, what is he even talking about? Like, how can you even compare someone's height? You know, let's just talk, for instance, in terms of work. If you're going to be if you're going to be employed in a work space or a workforce, you are not being employed or being rejected because of your height. I have never seen someone that is so intelligent, that has all of the qualification, but this person was rejected because of your height. Like, what does height has to do with your intelligence? But I have seen so many. I have seen couple of stitches where so many people who are actually more qualified than the other, but this person is rejected because of the color of the person's skin. I have seen so many positions being given to someone and not given to the other person because of racism. Racism, you know, occur in workspace, occur even in the hospital, occur anywhere in any form of way. But I have never seen someone that is being discriminated because you are short. Like, so people like this, we just find ways to debunk racism, to just see it as, oh, it's not even big deal. After all, there are people who are being discriminated because of their height. I have never, maybe me, my own personal experience, I have never seen someone that has been discriminated because of the color of the skin, because of their height, rather. But I've seen so many stitches, so maybe I'm not into that line, but I've seen so many stitches of people being discriminated in the workspace and in the movie sets. You can just name it very few. But you see that of heightism, you know, he even goes as far as some people will go as far as to ask, um, black people what they think about it, asking maybe black men who are, in that category. And these black men shares their own view. They were like, they feel more discriminated because they are a black person rather than being discriminated because they are short. So that I don't think it's something that is compared. Like you can't even compare it. You can't compare the two. Rare and cis, in the other hand, a system. Like the system is being built to favor some people and not. The system is not being built to favor a tall person and not favor a short person. Like sometimes there are some topic that when I actually want to get myself more like this is just a clear thing. This is just logic. There's no need of beating around the bush, blah blah. How can you even compare these two? These two is uncomparable. Seriously. Anyway, that is my take. I don't think you can compare the two. What do you think, Lovelies? Do you think that? Or maybe if you have any kind of experience, maybe if anyone that is under this category could just leave in the comment section. Have you feel, especially if you're a black person, have you feel more discriminated because you're a short person, or maybe a job was given to a tall person and it wasn't given to you because of your height? Anyways, let's just see what happens. Leave your own thought in the comment section, and I will see you, love, when I upload the next
What
one.
I think of this video. And please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge one to click on the subscription button, like this video. Please stay safe wherever you are, and I will see you, love, when I upload the next one.